See, we got 5 Facebookers in here, 3 YouTubers, man. Welcome to the weekend, everybody. Thanks for joining me. We'll get into this here in a moment. What's happening, man? Go ahead and post up, say hello, put your handle up there, where you're from. Any questions, lock them in there, I'll try to answer them. How are you doing, Chuck? Welcome to the weekend, man. Ice House in the house, 211. Ocala, Florida. I got my dang glasses, Florida. What's up, Lou? You're out of Florida. Brad, how are you? You're not trying. Alright, get this thing started here. Woo, 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 woo! Mike Smith, thank you for the songs, man. You kill them every time. You do a great job.
Yo. South Jersey don't.
So, what we have going on here. This is, trying to lower the volume. Alright, this is going, this unit turned into, I won this in a raffle from Black Cat Radio from Irving and Brian Smith. Brian Smith built up this radio, it came from him, he did a tune on it. This is his card, came with the radio. Information's on it. Did a great job on the radio. I guess it is what it expected. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of these radios, but it is what it is. It's an all-band radio, it has sideband, etc. I did actually talk a little bit on it today, so it works. Now, I also took the time to build a South Jersey 001 4 transistor unit, and this radio drives it properly. So we'll get into those numbers, and I'm going to show you guys a few things, and we're going to talk about coax again, because this thing was a perfect example about coax length does matter. Now, for me to say that, I literally seen it happen, and we're going to see it happen here as I change these lengths, because I have a half a wavelength between this radio and that amplifier right there, and when I changed it, everything changed, and I changed it again and everything changed, and I put it back and everything came right back. So you guys are going to learn or see it with your own two eyes how coax does affect the system of performance on certain radios, all radios. I go with what I know. I watch my meters, and I watch and I trust what I'm seeing. So to understand a lot of this, you have to have the bird meters to do it. A dosimeter or any other type of meter is not going to show you what a bird or coaxial dynamics meter will show you. Do you have to run them all the time and be a heartbreaker? They don't show you a lot of watts. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to show you the true RMS power and the true peak power. And that's what those meters are for. Everybody puts their eggs in one basket and they got their peaker tweakers, and that's all cool if that's what you want to look at. But you have to remember, AM and sideband is different. And in fact, the way how this radio is tuned up, it actually performs just a smidge better on AM than it does on sideband. It's quarter-linked towards, if you look at the peak number, because you can't look at the peak or the RMS number on sideband. It turns into an average peak. So let's take and fire this stuff up. Look, before I do that, I'm going to take and pop the lid on this floor, and you guys kind of take a look at what I got going on in here. I overbuilt it on purpose, and I put a 100 amp 12 volt power supply in here. I think I got it running right around 15.2, somewhere in there. It's really happy where it's at. I action packed a 4 transistor unit in here, and it's tight. It really is. I have 2 8-gauge wires furnished by Walmart next door. I took a trip over there and went shopping and grabbed some nice 8-gauge wire from Charger over there. So with that said, this is I think they call it a 4-pill Base XL. So it's a little larger, a little taller, a little whichever, but it did come with a 92 millimeter fan hole. I opened it up, made it a 120 millimeter fan. I really like my 106 CFM fans. This thing has a lot of airflow going across the system. Plus, the power supply has its own cooling system on there, and it does cycle as it needs it. Probably will never come on as long as that one's running. So, and this is the exit hole. Yeah, it looks a little small, but the air is definitely getting pushed out. Why? You know, 100% of the air, I would say 97%, because there's little cracks here or there, has to come across this heat sink. I got an air jam blocker on the side of the heat sink where it caps over there, and now it's just this corner cavity here is just heat sink, and it's the only way out. So obviously I got the cooling systems going on. What's going on, Jay, down in Australia? How are you? Seen you ask where can you get the tickets. Well, we'll get into that, but with that said, now that you're in here, Jay, I don't believe we're going to do a worldwide raffle here. The shipping would be outrageous. We have a lot of pieces going with this. So what I'm going to demonstrate tonight is the 69 Base Plus and the 4 transistor unit. No, but what this the game is going to actually get you is the 12-foot jumper where you can tie the radio and the amp together. You'll get a 100-foot of RG-213 coax and a Mako V5000 ground plane. So all of that's going to be posted up here as soon as Irving gets ready to take and start this raffle, and we'll get all this stuff figured out. But for now, I'm just going to show the performance of this unit. So this unit does have auto sideband delay inside of it. No, it don't have biasing in this unit, and I'm not a big bias fan, guys. You guys know that. So that said, let's take a look at this radio and see how it's performing. And this is really kind of a cool radio. I'm not going to go through all the modes and performance. I'm just going to look at where we're at here on channel 20 on AM and sideband, and what the potentiometer or the actual RF power knob actually does for this radio, and how it allows your power level to drop down as you lower it, as it should, and then in proportion as you increase it, your output power will increase a bit on the RMS and peak, just a little bit. We're not talking hundreds of watts, but the radio actually does pretty well. So with that said, we are going to look at, let's see what we're going to look at tonight. Look at a 25 watt slug here, and this is going to read the reflection back to this radio here. And then we're going to look at a 100 watt slug, and that'll show you what the radio is driving into this unit. Now, as far as the peak on the digital, we're going to look at the 2500. We're going to look at a 1000 watt analog and a 2500 watt analog RMS and peak. So let's go ahead and let's just start with the radio here. So let's just get something going here. 100 watt carrier here. Let's see here. Each line 1 watt. Audio. So we're pulling out. That is a 100 watt slug. So bottom scale. Audio. So it's showing me right close to a 60 watt RMS. Now, that's free balling or going through the bypass circuit of the amplifier. Now, when you put this stuff to work, at 60 watts, truly, it diminishes. And you'll see working wattage as we run this unit. So you have to remember, you're driving 4 transistors with this radio. So let's take a look at the digital real quick at the RMS. And let's see what it says. It says audio 50, audio 75, 50, audio. So that's just the radio all by itself, and it's back down. Here's your carrier. All right. So my carrier level is a little over about 11 watts. All right. Let's see if it shows me anything here. No, it won't. All right. So here's your peak. And there's your peaker, tweaker. This is AM, 125 watts. Now we'll look up here at the 2500 and see if we can see that 125 come across the board. Each line is 50 watts on this one. Top scale. Audio, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is in the peaker tweaker mode, 2500. So it's really kind of hard to see it, but we'll stay down in the digital. So if I turn this up, let's see where a carrier runs off to. 100 watts left, about 21 watts or so. Audio. So she's free balling, but you're seeing this thing does increase. The peak isn't going to increase no more. Audio, peaker, tweaker. It's going to stay the same. You're filling up your RMS power here. Now we'll go wide open on it. All right, so here's wide open on the carrier. Audio, was that the carrier? Yeah, she's wide open. All right, wide open. Audio. So we increased in our RMS. Carrier's hanging out right around 28 watts or so. And what happened to our peak? Did it all stay about the same? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's all the same up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each line's 50 up there, so 150. So all of this works in proportion, but I'll leave that wide open. We'll go over here to sideband mode real quick. And now we're going to look at just our peak. All right. And it's going to do audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's flashing down to about 100. Now, if I were to back this down where I would run this radio at normal carrier level, let's see what it does here. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it shows about 100. So unless you're cranking this wide open to try to get more out of your amplifier, it's really not going to help you too much. And we'll go over that. All right. So really cool radio. Like I said, it has all bands on it. It's PA, FM, AM, upper and lower sideband is CW. This is an amateur rig with the Mars mod, I guess they call it, or whatever. It's on 11 meters. So let's keep on shipping along at this test. So fire up the 4 transistor unit. And see, you got a 6-footer over here. I'll show you guys that here in a moment. We're going to just kind of go over the performance on this. Let me set a carrier level real quick. I got to get it off sideband to do that. Let's see. 1000 watt slug. Set it right around 200 watts. Okay, so right around 200. Let's see what our drive level is. The radio working now. All right, this is working radio going into this 4 transistor unit. Audio, working radio, audio. So it's showing me right around 63 watts RMS. Let's see what it is dry going past it. Audio. So it actually allowed it to take and eat a little better. Allowed it all to go through, so that meant the bypasses it has a little standing wave in there, and that's where that those watts go. All right, so here it is feeding right through the circuit. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're hanging out right around 50 to 60 watts on just talking. And input reflectors, 25 watt slug. Each one's a half a watt. I really worked on this, and this is the best I'm going to get it. And it seems to be the happiest here how it's running. So here it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're hanging out right around 2.5 watts feeding back to the radio. Now here's your RMS. And we're going to take and see what we got going on here. Got a 200 watt carrier, audio 1, 2, audio 1, 2, 3, 4. So the mic gain's at 12 o'clock. Let's see if we crank it wide open, if that's going to help at all. Audio. You see how it kind of just hit the brakes? It don't really matter because it has the audio limiter in it. All right, so that's why it's working like it is with the RMS. Now the only way I'm going to increase RMS, audio, is where? In proportion right here with my carrier level. So I'm at 200 now. You know you can go up to about 400, so that's about half. Turn up about 250, 260. And we'll see if we go over. There we go, audio. So now we're making our 400 watts RMS. Now let's see what the peaker tweaker's doing. Oh, wait a minute, let's stop here at RMS. Audio. So we're happy 400 watts here. And we're gonna look at the peaker tweaker right here on the digital. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1000 watts peaker tweaker, audio, analog, audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, analog. All right, so I'd say everything's jiving. Here's your analog 2500. RMS, audio. That's a clear win right there, 400 watts. So, safe to say, this is a very nice combination what I have going on here. I actually hooked this up on my antenna and talked a little bit on it today. Pretty cool radio. Got good receive. They got a high cut thing on here. I don't know exactly what it is. But that's pretty much the ins and outs of that. Now, that's on AM. Now, again, I mentioned it does have auto sideband in this unit. So if you go over to sideband, key up, nothing's going to happen. Zero. Nothing's happening until you start talking. So all the analog meter, all the RMS meters are no longer useful to me at this point. I'm on peak. I'm a peaker tweaker right here. Why? I'm on sideband. But let's take a look at where we're at on sideband again. Here's your peak. Audio, sideband, audio, sideband. So she's flashing about 125 watts. Let's look at 2500. Audio, radio. It's just right at under 100 on that one. So if I take and turn this on, and I'm on sideband, upper side, let's take a look at it at the peak on the digital. All right, we were doing 1000 watts on AM. Audio. So it's down just a little bit, just because you've seen the watts were down a little bit when I went over to sideband. Now here's your peak up here on analog. Audio, analog, audio, analog, peaker, tweaker, audio. So as you can see, if I'm on sideband and I'm only pulling 100 watts, and I go over to AM, now I can pull 125. So I would safe to say the AM works just a smidge better than it does on sideband as far as the power level goes, as far as the peak level power goes. But that's not a bad thing. It's okay to have that little limit there, because you guys can get carried away on sideband really quick, and then you got nothing but a problem. So now we covered all of that, and the wattage and the specs and such. Let's take a look again now at these performance levels on AM, and I'm going to switch some coax around. All right, so we are on AM, but just for kicks, everybody's going to ask, what does this thing happen? What happens when you go to FM? FM, you really are talking on a carrier. So here's a 100 watt slug, and here's what FM is on this radio. Now I got it keyed up right now, and I'm talking, so it's not moving. You're just holding the carrier. Now, where is my level, RF level? It was down where I had a nice carrier. Let's take a look at it if it were wide open. It's the same. So realistically, you're dead keying right about 29 watts or so, 28, 29 watts. I'm sure that could be adjusted some way if you're a big FMer, but this didn't make any difference whatsoever. But back to back down, still in FM. So what's going to happen to that if I turn on this box? Probably going to throw a pretty heavy carrier here. Let's take a look at the average 1000 watt scale, and this is just FM. I'm throwing maximum output on this amplifier. Will it work there? Yeah, you could probably adjust the FM a little bit, the carrier level, if you wanted to run an amp, which most guys do. But at the end, are we going to see anything on modulation? No, it just throws 400 watts. That's it. So that is what FM is. So I'd say you're probably all right to run a little bit of FM on a system, but I would like to see a carrier level down a little bit from where maximum power would be. So example, I would be more looking at, I like to see it at about 300 watts. So I wish there was an adjustment where it was external and you could just back that down. But you're at a maximum carrier of the amplifier. So if you do run on FM, you might want to be pretty brief on that, or take and do some research and see if there's a pot that you can turn inside the radio to back that down a little bit, and that would be smart to go about half a full output power or 3/4 of full output power. So that'd be approximately 300 watts or 250, and I think you could go out and have a lot of fun on FM. All right, so let's go back to AM. Then we covered the FM thing, and let's throw a carrier and get everything working where I'm supposed to. All right, so there's a 200 watt carrier, guys. All right, I'm gonna give it some modulation. And we're going to say audio, 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 audio. So there's 400 watts, input reflection, audio, 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 audio. A little touch over 2.5. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the coax. I'm going to put a 6 in line. And we're going to look at that 6, and then I'm going to take and join that 6 to a 12 and make an 18. And we're going to look at these power levels, what's happening. So I just showed you guys exactly where we were sitting, and now we're getting ready to make a change. Let me make a little room here. Okay. Alright, so there's that 6. I'm going to plug it in right here, just 12. Alright, so now I have a 6. I'm not going to test, I'm not going to move a dead key. I'm not going to move anything just yet. I'm just going to bump it, Mike. We're going to take a look because we left it at 200 watts. What happens when you go to a shorter piece of coax normally, guys? Your power level goes up because you're not feeding all that power through a longer length coax. So it's going to go up here. What's going on, Jeff? Aloha. So now we're way past maximum output power, what this unit can do. Why'd that happen? Because I put a 6-foot jumper in line. All right, so now you have to drop it down. Turn that back. And we'll go right back to that 200 mark, okay? All right, there's 200 watts. Let's see what happens to our power. We were just doing 400. Audio, 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 audio. We lost power. Audio, audio, audio. We have a 6-foot jumper in between the radio and the box, and we literally lost 80 watts or so. See what happened to the peaker, 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 peaker. It's about 9. Let's see what it is on the digital. Peaker, 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 peaker. We lost power, regardless. However you want to slice it or dice it, we lost RMS and we lost peak. Why did we do it? Audio, 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 audio. 350, 325. Why'd that happen? Because the radio is really tuned with a half a wavelength, so is the amplifier. All right, so coax length absolutely matters, and I just showed you guys in raw form. Now I'm going to show you another test. I'm going to put 18 foot on this coax. All right, so now I'm going to take this barrel connector, and I'm going to hook up this 6 to the 12 and take the 12 and put it in here now. Alright, now I have 18 foot of coax between this radio and the amp now. I had 12 and that's how it was designed. Just showed you 6 and we just seen ill performance. Are we going to still see ill performance with 18? Let's take a peek. First off, let's look at our carrier level. We just had a 200 watt carrier. Let's see where we're at now. Real close. I'm gonna bring it back up to where I had it. Alright, 200 watts. Now here is same scaling, 1000. Audio, 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 audio. We did less power, doggone. Audio, audio, audio is doing 320 RMS. Audio, 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 audio. Analog. Here's digital. Audio peaker, tweaker, tweaker, tweaker. Got a little better. Not a whole lot. So obviously a 6 don't work. A 6 don't work with this. or an 18. Now, didn't do this test earlier, but I'll go ahead and try it real quick. Take and grab another piece of coax. Alright, now I'm going to take the 6 out. I'm going to make 24. Well, let's say you didn't want to sit right on top of your amplifier. Say you want to put it in the closet. You don't want to even look at it. You just hit the switch and walk away from it. It really don't take any energy to run this thing. Alright, now I'm going to take and figure out what piece of coax is what. Disconnect this one. And take this one and plug it in. Alright, this is what I do, guys. I test every angle I possibly can. Alright, now I have 24 feet of coax. It don't matter, it's draped all over the place. It's not hurting the thing. Hey Richard, how are you? Alright, now 24 feet. Now this should fall into half wavelength to a full wavelength now. So what happens to our carrier? I didn't do this test, I have no clue what's going to happen. Alright, let's see our carrier, what happens there. Oh, it's way down. Okay. There's a 200 watt carrier again, okay? 200, here we go. Audio, 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 audio. Wow, that's amazing. It absolutely popped right back into a hole. Audio, 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 audio. 24 feet in between the radio and the little guy. The little 4 transistor. That's 24 feet. Why did that just work? Because you're in wavelengths of a half a wavelength. You're in that half a wavelength phase. You're not no oddball. 6, 9, 18, however. Half a wavelength. Or 2 half wavelengths. Or 3 half wavelengths. However, I think you got to keep it balanced. So it'd be the next one would be 48. Now, you ain't doing all that. Your radio's right here. But just because your radio's right here, you don't take a 3 or 6 or 9 and jump it across. Wrong. You're cheating yourself. And that's what I clearly discovered today with this system. I'm so glad I did this test because I'm able to take and share it with you guys where you can see how coax literally affects your system. And guess what? I'm on a perfect world. I'm in a dummy load. 50 ohms will bring you to heaven. It loves 50 ohms. It'll work at 49, 48. Then it'll work at 51 and 52. But 50 is the golden ticket. It's the number. It is the number. So Brian did a good job on this radio here. I think it's a nice matchup. I'm just going to leave that 24 footer in there and let's run with this thing. Let's see if everything else stayed the same. See what my inputs are. Look at my inputs, audio, 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 audio. It's still hanging out right there. Look at my output power, audio, 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 audio. Man, it's hitting about 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 70, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, yeah, each one's 2. All right, 100, each one's 2. Audio, 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 65, 68. And inputs, audio, 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 audio. Real good, 2.5. Peaker, tweaker, 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 peaker, tweaker, peaker, tweaker, RMS, RMS, RMS. 4 pills, man. Man, this thing's fun. Fun. 0 heat coming out of this thing. Let's take a cheater test here. Like, see what it is. 83 degrees. Probably the same temperature it's in my room. All right, well, listen. The amplifier, don't even worry about it. The only time you're going to have to worry about that is you feed it into something with a really high standing wave and it's not 50 ohms. As far as the jumper length between this radio and this amplifier, highly suggest a half a wavelength. I don't care what kind of coax you run, as long as it's a half a wavelength. So if you have LMR, it's going to be a whole lot longer in quote unquote 12 feet of the 266 or of the .66 family. Teflon would be the next closest thing to this, like 393 or pretty much every Teflon because it's .70 the velocity factor on it. But anyway, you cut it. This is part of just like part of the raffle. I guess is a part that I could actually show. What's going on, Damien? Actually show the performance of something. Obviously, I got a brand new ground plane in the box, brand new 100-foot of coax with ends on it, and a brand new 12-foot jumper or half a wavelength jumper. It'll tie these two together. So the jumper will be tuned for approximately channel 20 or in the zip code of 1 through 40. So if you plan to go somewhere else with this radio and amp, and let's just see. Let's take a look at that. because I know the radio is really balanced. You can travel all over the place and you ain't losing any power with this. So let's go up. How does this work? Oh, there's a channel thing here. Okay, so there's channel 41. So let's go up here to triple nickel. Even though we're in sideband, let's just run it on AM real quick and then we can flip over. But there's a triple nickel. All right. So tuned on channel 20. We'll go up to 27.55.5. Throw carry and let's see her walk. Yes, I'm on a dummy load, so let's see what's happening here. Audio, 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 audio. About the same RMS power. Let's see the peaker tweaker. Audio, 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 audio. Still hanging out with my inputs. Audio, 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 audio. They actually went down a little bit, so well, that's kind of cool. If you actually do decide to go on sideband and talk up here on triple nickel, let's see what it does on sideband. All right, sidebander, audio, audio, sidebander, audio. I still think you could go out there and talk a whole lot of fun at 900 watts peaker tweaker over there on sideband. So let's see the other side of the spectrum. Let's see, how would you go to this one? So 24, 25, 25, there's 26. We'll go up to 2650. Oh, well, can't do it. One more. We'll go down this way. All right, it'll go down to 2655. So there's a pretty good run of numbers, channels right there. And I'll go back over to AM. Like, they've got a little indicator right there. It's really nice. All right, so let's take a check at our carrier. Ain't gonna change it. That's still pretty close to that 200 mark. Audio, 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 audio. And it's performance suffering just a little bit. Audio, audio, audio. Inputs went up a bit. That's why. And let's see our peaker, peaker, tweaker, tweaker. So well, that was kind of weird. Audio, 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 audio. All right, that's 25. Now we went over to sideband down there. Now we'll take a peek at sideband, 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 900 watts. So at the end, most of the guys are hanging out right 1 through 40, but it shows you the versatility between this. Now your limiter is going to be what? Your antenna. Your antenna is not tuned from going from 27.55.5 all the way down to 26.55.5. You're not an antenna on the planet that can do that. And if you have one, you are definitely not talking skip. You got a dummy load on a stick. And your equipment may not be blowing up, but you ain't doing any skip talking with that wide-banded monstrosity. With that said, this little guy goes down. Let's see how far she goes down. All the way down to there. I'm not going to even try to key up this unit because I know I'm way out of balance there. Let's go to here. So it goes all the way down to 24.26.5. That's pretty low. And let's see where it goes. The high as it goes is all the way here to F, and it'll be channel 40. 29.655. So there's your frequency span. I think it'll fit anybody that has a ham license. If you don't have a ham license, man, don't transmit it. You're going to have somebody hating on you. Don't do it. I'm telling you. Warn you. Don't do it, man. So how do you see here? It's channel 40. Channel 1. So, alright. So I'm in A on high. And it just goes 1 through 40 on this one. Okay, so we'll leave it there. Well, there you have it. Pretty cool radio. You guys can look it up and see the features. Brian Smith did the tune-up on this thing. You kind of seen a live video on how the performance was with the radio and the amp paired together on a dummy load with a half a wavelength of jumper. Actually, I have 2 of them in line right now. It's kind of crazy, but that's how radio works. It all works on frequency and VOP, and if it's off somewhere, you're going to have a ripple. Something's not going to like it. It's going to squeal. It's going to bark. Your fan's going to squeal. It could slow down. It could speed up. Weird things can happen when you don't have the right things in line. No differently than your body. Eat McDonald's every day. Your arteries are going to clog up and you're going to die. So you can't do it. Try to eat right. You got to feed your equipment right as well. So where's Molly at? I got cookies for her. She went and got a bath today. Molly, where you at? Let's see. Molly, where you go? Hi, honey. How are you? Come here. Molly. Molly. Hey. Come here. Molly, come here. Molly. Look, I got treats. Hey. Come. Come. You trying to sneak some food? Hi? You gonna say hi to everybody? See how pretty you are? Look how pretty you are. Nice and soft. You're white again. You're kind of yellow there. Yeah, I start calling old yellow. Molly, come here. Hey. Sit. Look at this. There you go. So what's cracking? How are you? You gonna say hello and welcome to the weekend, everybody? Molly. Hey. What's going on? Somebody got food over there? That's what you want? You're sidetracked on the food? What's going on? You go, hey, Molly. You gonna talk? You out? Yeah, that's what she said. Well, that's that. Molly was kind of brief tonight. What's up, Callie? So I am gonna take and slide out of here. I wish you guys all the best. The guys are starting to make their way out to the islands. I wish I could have went this year, but man, my dentist has got all my money. I spent a little bit of money on some teeth, and they are brutal on pricing on dentistry. So anyhow, guys, there you have it. We'll be posting up the date and the price on the game, and I don't know if he's going to put a limit on how many tickets you can buy per or not. That's up to Ivan on that. And we'll go from there. So Ivan Ward from Black Cat Radio, thank you very much. Brian Smith, thank you for this radio. Did a great job on it. Yes, I did win this from the last raffle. I'm the type of guy, if I'm not going to use it and don't plan to use it, I'm going to take and just pass it on to the next guy. And that's what we're doing here. But I decided to add a piece of equipment to it and some other stuff to make it a turnkey base station for the most part. I started to put a dosimeter in this pile. I just can't, man. You guys, you're going to have your own meter. Unfortunately, I apologize for that, but I could have put a meter on here, but I just don't like how they show you the average RMS, or the average RMS is normally pretty close on the dosies. With that average peak power, I just can't get around it all. So it's up to you guys to decide how you're going to measure your power level. But again, if you follow my instructions and run a half a wavelength from this radio to this amplifier and then off to your antenna or meter, it'd be another half a wavelength from the meter to this unit. Output of this unit, unless you have a bird directly coupled to it, will be another half a wavelength off to your meter assembly. So like I said, I have two half wavelengths in line with a barrel connector, 24 feet or so. And if you did not want to sit right on top of your amplifier and you wanted to move it somewhere else, you can put 24 on here and here. So, or cut the frequency 24 foot. Stub tune your coax, guys. So there you have it. It does come with a half a wavelength and a Mako 5/8 V ground plane and 100 foot of coax. So there you have it. One South Jersey, 4 transistors, sideband delay, a Ranger RCI 69 Base Plus. All done. All right, guys. There you go. Hello, 711. He's out of the Chicago area. Hope you're keeping warm over there. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Take care. God bless. Welcome to the weekend. I'm gone.